Good day, everyone. We're here at the Postgraduate Institute of Management, where the AMDISA 2016 Executive Council meeting and regional conference is currently underway. It is hosted by the Postgraduate Institute of Management, University of Sri Jayewardenepura, and the Institute of Certified Professional Managers here in Sri Lanka. Joining us now is Dr. Satis Ailawadi, Director of the Institute of Management Technology, India. Welcome to our program.
Thank you.
During the course of this conference, you had been speaking about the accreditation of higher education universities, and especially in terms of quality. Could you tell us a little bit more about that, please?
Yeah, according to me, especially in context of South Asia, where there is a proliferation of business schools, especially in my country, India, we need to differentiate. And one of the potent means of differentiation is through international collaborations and partnerships. And by doing so, we'll enhance the quality of education. And when we talk about quality, it is essentially means the quality of academic processes, the teaching learning processes, the kind of research we do, the kind of corporate education, corporate training programs, or so to say executive education that we try to introduce in our country. In context of South Asia, because the economic problems are more or less alike, and to my mind, the business schools have a very important role to play in the development of the country, and unless the students are groomed to take up the positions of leadership wherein they can impact the socio-economic development of the country, the business schools will not be doing their job well. That's the reason our emphasis is more on how do we enhance the quality of business education in South Asian context.
All right. What are some of the avenues that are open to universities in South Asia to receive such accreditation?
When we talk about accreditation, the important point is the entire process of accreditation focuses on broadly, one, the teaching, learning processes, the student intake, the faculty base, and also the executive education. And taking further, it is international collaborations. So to begin with, let's say student intake. The student intake has to be in a very, very selective manner, and we have to make it more of accessible education, whereas every individual student who is interested and who has the passion for excellence and passion for learning more can be admitted. And also the academic processes were built in the institution, like how do we teach, what kind of curriculum we teach, what kind of pedagogical tools we bring in the classroom, and what value the faculty members add in the classroom. Now, when we talk about the course curriculum, it is very important that the course curriculum has to fulfill the needs of industry, fulfill the needs of society and the nation at large. And to that extent, we need to involve the stakeholders, which includes the corporate professionals, the NGOs, the government bureaucrats, or any such person who is involved in the socio-economic development of the country. We need to form the subject boards for each functional area of business, where the senior corporate professionals, the bureaucrats, and various other prominent leaders of the education and industry are involved. They meet on a continuous basis and they review the curriculum. Having reviewed the curriculum, and then the process of teaching learning starts. How the faculty members are trained, how the kind of funds are allocated to the development of faculty members, what kind of workshops and the conferences they attend, and how do we measure the impact or the value they add in the classroom once they come back to the classroom. And then finally, the executive education program, how the business school is helping or facilitating corporate professionals in upgrading the skills, and also the executive education in the sense the working professionals who are unable to attend full-time program, they can perhaps attend on a part-time or evening programs or weekend programs. so that they also get to know the latest developments in business and how the faculty members can bring in the value to these corporate professionals. And then by their presence, the kind of environment that gets created in the classroom are highly brilliant, and a lot of peer review learning takes place in the classroom when the corporate professionals sit along with the other students and then interact with the faculty members. That raises the standard of discussion and the interaction, and hence the business education. Then also, how do we differentiate in terms of research and the international relations? According to me, business education is unlike other streams like psychology or commerce or economics or mathematics or statistics. Business education cuts across all these streams, and whether it is economics or psychology or sociology or anthropology or statistics, it's an integration of all these streams, and therefore business education has to be treated in a different way. To my mind, when we talk about research in business education, it has to be more oriented towards applied research, especially in South Asian context where the resources are scarce. We cannot fit away resources in scholarly research. I'm not undermining the importance of scholarly research, but nevertheless the focus has to be on applied research, which has an immediate impact, or it has a transformation in the business, in the government, and in the any kind of sector which impacts the society at large. Like, why not we do some kind of research in water harvesting? Why not in disaster management? It could be primary health care, so on and so forth. So unless the business schools are made accountable for these kind of activities, that is accountable to society at large, the quality would be a real question. I strongly believe that quality of business education should be improved and can be improved only by connecting with the society, by creating impact on the society and the nation at large, and that can happen only through applied research, not only through the pure scholarly research. So that's how. And other differentiating factor which I feel is collaborations with the business schools within South Asia as well as other global business institutions. More so in South Asia because we have almost similar kind of problems, be it infrastructure, be it employment opportunities, be it the enrollment ratios in the academic institutions, be it the faculty shortage, so on and so forth. So we have to work together.
All right. And is all of this covered in the new paradigm that you spoke of in one of the papers that you presented, the new paradigm for academic institutions?
The new paradigms that I'm talking about for the business education in particular and in academic institutions at large would be definitely international collaborations, because we cannot today grow in silos and working alone, because we have to have a more of a global orientation to local problems. Like when I was talking about serving your own nation or society, one has to bring in the best practices which globally they are happening, and have a kind of a orientation which we have to have. And that global orientation can be brought to the solving the local problems. So to that extent, the paradigms are shifting. More and more business schools are collaborating with the various internationally reputed business schools. But there are some challenges, like, for example, most of the business schools, at least in India, I find, they treat these academic collaborations more like a brand building exercise, which should not be done, because it's not just a brand building tool that I just tom-tom about the international collaborations. I have 60 collaborations or 90 collaborations, but the question is how many are live, and what is it that we are doing with these international collaborations. Quite often I have seen the business schools talk only about student exchange and faculty exchange, and our faculty members writing research publications along with the researchers abroad and publishing in A category journals. Well, these are very elementary ways of entering into international collaboration. Nonetheless, they are important. But we have to take the entire process of international relations way above, the forward way we have to look at, which could mean essentially, let's say there's a 2 years MBA program. 1 year the students will attend in the parent organization, institution, and then 1 year they can go to a foreign partners campus and they take on the credits and they come back to the parent institution and they can have a dual degree MBA. So that is one. And second could be joint conferences, wherein the researchers across the various business schools in the world, they come together, share their experiences and share their thoughts, and they work together. Especially again in South Asian context, we can work together in resolving the problems which all of us are facing today. It could be like poverty alleviation, it could be inclusive education, inclusive growth, so on and so forth. So this can be a differentiating factor, and these are the new paradigms the business schools are doing. Again, we have to see in a very long term, and we need not be myopic. Many business schools evaluate their performance maybe in a year's time or 6 months' time. These international collaborations have a long-term impact, and their success have to be measured in a long term. It's a kind of investment which will give you returns maybe 5 years down the line. We can even think of having some kind of programs or a social immersion, like students from the foreign partner institutions, they come to our country and they not only learn about the business, how business is done in Sri Lanka, how business is done in India, but they also get exposed to the industrial culture, the work culture, and the social culture of the country. So that is one other way of looking at the international collaborations. So it need not be purely in terms of academics, it can be in co-curricular activities, it could be any activity which impacts the society.
All right. There was a section about selecting and managing partnerships.
Yeah, that is true. Well, when we talk about selecting and managing the partners, it is very important for a business school or any academic institution to select the right partner. What exactly does it mean? It means the values that we stand for, the objectives which we are looking for, and the philosophy which we have must be having a synergy. Like, for example, my value is, let's say, continuous improvement. And I'm not looking at immediate returns on so-called investment. Whereas if my partner institute has a different vision, he talks more about the immediate impact or immediate return on investment, and he has a different vision. He talks more of a scholarly research, and I talk more of a applied research. So these two kinds of institutions, partnerships might not work. So when we are selecting our partners, it is very important that my partner's vision and my vision must be same. There has to be synergy between the two. Like if my institute is talking about more of a corporate connect, more of executive education, likewise my partner institution also should talk in the same language. Then alone these kind of partnerships would work. Second is the cultural issues, like suppose I am more concerned about, let's say, equal participation in terms of gender. So both male, female have to be equally given emphasis upon, and equal opportunities have to be given. But in some other countries, because of their culture or because of their customs, it might not be so. So again, we have to see whether this kind of an institution can be a right partner for me. And then managing partners would mean having entered into an alliance or having entered into some kind of MOU, how do we manage? It has to start from a given understanding. There is a coming out with the agreement that, okay, so many students exchange, so many faculty exchange, and that has to be reciprocal. If I send 5 students at least, you must also send at least 2 or 3 students. It cannot be just one way kind of thing. Both student as well as faculty exchange, and then again, as I said, social immersion should happen both ways. That's how we have to manage and take the entire relationship at a higher and higher level. That happens gradually, it won't happen overnight. Like we in India have done it, we entered into collaborations in my institute, that is IMT at Hyderabad. We have entered into MOUs with various business schools in France and United States and Austria, Germany, etc. And we are not just talking about student and faculty exchange, that is already there, but we are trying to take it forward in terms of twinning programs or dual degree programs, or some kind of having campus abroad, recruiting students from different countries like from Africa or from South Asia or Middle East, and so that they can come and be our full-time students. So the presence of international students in the campus is another way how we measure our MOUs which we enter into our partners. So that is how we have to continuously manage the partnering agreement.
During the course of this conference, have you seen scope for collaborations within the members of AMDISA?
Oh yes, certainly. While since yesterday, I'm here since yesterday, and I have been talking to various professors from across the various countries like Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka included, and we have been talking about how do we collaborate. To begin with, yes, it will be with the student exchange and the faculty exchange, but I would certainly look forward to a higher form of international collaboration, which would not only include student and faculty exchange, it would include joint projects. Not just scholarly publications, but working together for solving a nation's problems. Like India and Sri Lanka can have the similar infrastructure problems or supply chain problems or disaster management problems. So why can't our faculty members work along with the faculty members of PIM or any other business school in Sri Lanka and work together and bring out a kind of a white paper or a concept paper, give it to the respective governments, and work together. So according to me, it will be more of a co-optation rather than any kind of a competition, because in today's world, as I said earlier and in my presentation, that we have to have a global orientation towards the local problems, and that's how we keep on benchmarking.
All right. Could you tell us a little bit about IMT and some of the collaborations that they have had, not necessarily academic, but perhaps with maybe corporate entities?
With the corporate entities, I will not say that IMT Hyderabad or IMT group as a whole has been very successful. We are trying to have, but yes, with the as far as academic partnership goes, we have been doing. Only way we have succeeded in connecting the corporates is internships. Like when our students go and they can do some kind of internship in their industries. And likewise, we are exploring avenues for the internship programs for the students of our foreign partners. One good thing which we have been able to do is we have been doing some kind of social immersion and work in social entrepreneurship. Like last year, we had invited about 15 students from Portland State University, United States, and they worked along with our students in cohorts, and they worked on social marketing, social issues. It could be primary health care, it could be milk distribution, it could be literacy to the rural children. These students in cohorts, they worked together for about 3 weeks, and they came out with a campaign to market these causes and the solutions, what solution can be thought of. So to that extent, we have been able to connect the society, like doing social immersion or social marketing, or a kind of a causal marketing, social causes. But as far as industry goes, we have not been able to do in IMT, but certainly we are looking for those. We are exploring that possibility, that where the students from partner institutes can come here, and along with the number of credits they take, they also work in the industry for some time, maybe 3 weeks or 6 weeks. We also have a Study India program, a Study India Abroad program, where the students from various countries, they come, like let's say we are thinking of Dubai or maybe some kind of South Asian countries. Students from these countries can come and know what is it to do business in India, what are the challenges one faces in doing business in India, what are the opportunities, because ultimately we also want our students to become entrepreneurs. So unless they become entrepreneurs, the national development won't take place. It is a catalyst. So we want them to get them exposed to the practices and the challenges that are there in doing business in India. That's what we are exploring these days.
All right. And could you share with us what are some of the key industries that are there in Hyderabad?
Oh, of course, IT, information technology, is the hub in this country, in India, and pharmaceuticals and healthcare. Healthcare industry is very well organized. I would say it is one of the best organized industries in India, which is in Hyderabad, and we are definitely thinking of launching some programs in healthcare industry. Also, since IT is the hub, Hyderabad is a hub for IT, we are also having a center of excellence in analytics, because these days analytics is the emerging area. The kind of information which is available in the industry, the kind of both qualitative as well as quantitative information is available, and how this information can be leveraged to the best advantage of the organization. It needs to be structured, and the right softwares have to be developed to capture the right information and to take and arrive at alternatives, and then finally take a right decision. So analytics is one area where IMT Hyderabad is trying to position. In years to come, I'm confident that IMT Hyderabad will become the place for the destination for analytics. When a student thinks about pursuing a career in analytics, it will be IMT Hyderabad. So that is my vision. And since we are on the subject, my vision for IMT Hyderabad is to create an ecosystem for incubation of knowledge for helping businesses, and thereby creating a new knowledge.
All right.
Because again, as I said earlier, business education is different than psychology and sociology and chemistry. As I said in my presentation also, let's say chemistry, the molecule is developed in the lab first, and then it is converted into pharmaceutical drug. So theory comes first and the practice comes later. This is not so in business. Business first, the practice comes, and this practice becomes a theory later. There are n number of examples one can think of. Right in if you recall the Industrial Revolution, when Frederick Taylor, who is considered the father of the scientific management, he brought a theory of time and motion study. Time and motion study was not existing prior to what he did. He solved some productivity problems in a steel mill, in a blast furnace, which came to be known as a time and motion study. And then again, other examples, this could be 360-degree performance appraisal. It was done in a business organization which came to be known as a 360-degree performance appraisal. And while I was in corporate, we took a lot of decisions in which we instead of manufacturing ourselves, we outsourced from various vendors across the country, identified who could be our vendors, where they should be located, how much they will manufacture, which is today it is called supply chain management network design, or network design in supply chain management. So what I'm trying to say is in business it is first practice and then it is converted into theory. So we have to look at entire business education in different way. So unless we do that, the quality would be utopia. So
towards that, what would you have to put in place? What sort of strategic partnerships would you have to put in place to make sure that that happens?
Strategic partnership is one such step, but prior to that is we need to have some kind of a system whereas we are able to identify whom we will teach, rather than somebody else sending the students to teach. Whom shall we teach? That is very clear. Who will be teaching them? That is faculty. There should, like in India, we have reservations. Why there should be? I firmly believe that there should be no reservation, at least at the postgraduate level. Because if there are reservations at a postgraduate level, we can't do much because already the damage has happened right from the primary school onwards. So reservations have to be done away with, and there should be equal opportunity for everyone. The education has to be accessible. It has to be equity has to be maintained, and of course the quality. So how do we ensure that quality will happen? It is only when the intake is right, appropriate intake. I'm not saying appropriate intake will mean high GMAT score or a brilliant academic track record. No, Business education again requires a different mindset. A person who has leadership qualities, the proactiveness, the kind of passion for excellence, reading habits. Unless the student possesses these, I think he's not suitable for having a corporate positions. Because in corporates, more than academic excellence, what is required is proactiveness, more of a conceptualization and man management skills. So unless the student who wants to take a MBA education or a management education, he is having these basic qualities, he has to be considered twice before admitting him. So that process starts right at the intake level. Then, of course, the kind of faculty we have, whether we should have pure academicians or it should be a mix of academicians and corporate professionals, has to be thought of. According to me, we have to have a mix of corporate and academicians. While I'm not saying academicians are not welcome, they have to be there. There has to be scholarly research, no doubt. But more emphasis has to be there in terms of association with the industry professionals. While you are designing your curriculum, their involvement is needed. While you're teaching in the classroom, their involvement is needed. So why not co-teaching? Like in IMT Hyderabad, what we have done is 15%, minimum 15% of each course is taught by the senior corporate professionals. So it means every course, we have around 40 different courses. Each course, 15% of this has to be facilitated by a senior corporate professionals who brings in his own knowledge and shares with the students. That is one. Second is the pedagogy in terms of case studies. Live cases have to be, the contemporary cases have to be brought in the classroom. And then the kind of pedagogy which we have. At a postgraduate level, especially in business, again, lecture kind of teaching will not work. What is more required is to create a simulation. You simulate a business-like situation and ask the students to draw a strategy. Let's say there is two FMCG conglomerates, and they are competing with their products like toothpaste and shampoos and soaps, etc. And each has a market share. Now, the students can be allocated a particular company, and they can be asked what strategies they would adopt to have better market share or more new products which have a better market attractiveness, so on and so forth. So the students can come out with their own solutions, and the faculty member can assess that in terms of what kind of strategies they have designed and what financials they have come out with, like what kind of investments are required, what kind of ROIs are there, what is the bottom line and top line both. So unless the entire situation is simulated in the classroom, merely lecturing will not work. Because today, as you know, information is available, courtesy e-media. So students are not really interested in knowing what is already written in the books, and maybe on the internet they can access various, even YouTube, and so many videos are available today. So it's not that they will not appreciate what you are teaching in the classroom. It has to be much more than that. That would come out with the simulation, the case studies, the faculty getting immersed in the industry. Faculty immersion becomes important in the entire teaching learning process. Why not we talk about every faculty member need to interact with a certain number of corporate professionals and learn in their area of expertise what are the contemporary practices which are being followed in business today. Like again in IMT Hyderabad, what we have done is every faculty member has to sit in the classroom of the industry practitioner when they are facilitating the course. In the process, they also learn the contemporary practices of the business. One. And second is we have about 16 weeks internship project in summer, as against many business schools across the world, which is 2 months program. We have a 4 months program. And in the entire 4 months program, the student will be guided and evaluated by both the faculty as well as the industry guide. At the end of the 16 weeks program, the students are assessed by both. And based upon the various parameters which we have designed, along with the corporate professionals, they are assessed cumulatively. So it gives them a chance to apply whatever they learned in first year during their summer internship. Every student has to undergo a student internship program after first year. And then after they come back from the internship, then they decide on the various specialization they want to do. Otherwise, it becomes very hazy for them which special area they would like to specialize. So unless they work in industry for a prolonged period of time, it will be very difficult for them to explore rightly what is their actual passion. And they will be selecting the right kind of specialization. That is very important area which we look into. Next is, while in the second year they have management projects, where the faculty members give both the industry-based project as well as research-based projects. So in that they are given some live business problem or even some research problems, and they are required to work on that. Again, it is a full semester is given to them. So these practices help the students to understand the business and how research is done in business, better exposure. And finally, we also have the assist mechanism whereby we take feedback from the recruiters, the alumni, when they are working in different corporates, whether they find any value what they have learned in the past 2 years which is being applied in the corporate. Is corporate taking advantage of their knowledge? How are they being treated? What is the work culture? So on and so forth. And they come out with a lot of inputs that makes us again review our curriculum, review our practices, and then involve the recruiters. And once the recruiters start coming back again and again to the campus for hiring our students, it becomes a testimony that yes, we are doing the right job. So all these processes were well managed, and accreditation particularly takes care of all these processes.
And what would you suggest for perhaps the universities that have not gone for accreditation? Where should they start this process?
Well, one thing one has to be very clear, it's not that only through accreditation you can be a quality institution. No. Quality is, it lies in your DNA. And it's a journey towards excellence. I mean, it's either there or not there. It's a mindset. Accreditation helps you in achieving your objectives. Even if you are not a accredited institution, nobody stops you to follow the right principles and the best practices across the world. But yes, accreditation does help. It laid down the processes, in streamlining the processes, like simple thing, governance, transparency has to be achieved, how you select a faculty member. Like, are we selecting a faculty member just because somebody is referred to, or he is known to you, or there is some robust process laid down for selecting faculty or recruiting faculty members. Like we have a process laid down for recruitment of faculty, which means first they have to, when they apply to us, they're shortlisted based upon their profile and credentials. Then the selected faculty members, the candidates are called for the seminar. They have to give a seminar in front of the various academicians within the institution. And the external experts, like people from various other well-known business schools of India, are invited to be the part of a panel. And then these candidates have to pass through the interview. The selection panel conducts interview, which is an in-depth interview lasting for about 40-45 minutes, and then they are selected. So the process is very well laid down. So be it recruitment, be it promotion, be it increments, everything is clearly laid down. So these kind of accreditation will help an institution to lay down a transparent governance. How do you recruit, how you incentivize, what kind of training and development needs how you are fulfilling those faculty development needs, what kind of funds are being allocated to the faculty development programs, etc., etc. So governance is one part, becomes very transparent, and whatever decisions are taken by the top management are conveyed to each and every faculty member. And whatever events or whatever actions we plan to take are always being communicated to the top management so that we are in the same platform. So there is no dichotomy in that whatever vision we have and what our actions are. That is one. And second is even the assessment of students. how do we assess our students, what kind of co-curricular activities we want the students to get engaged in, what kind of co-curricular activities they want us, and the complete records is maintained, the decisions taken. Like we have a leadership series where the students are the head honchos and the CXOs of the various corporates are called and interact with the students for about 3 hours. Around 4 to 5 industry head honchos are called every year. So everything is recorded. And we have a management committee, we have a executive council, we have various committees in our institution, around 19 different committees, different clubs. And they have a frequent meetings, like we have an executive council which meets once in a fortnight, faculty meetings happens once in a month, where we have the complete minutes are maintained. Each and every meeting there is a record and what plan of action is required, who is responsible, what are the timelines. All these are stipulated very, very clearly. So the entire process of governance becomes good and effective, and everyone in the organization gets involved. Every faculty member gets involved in the institution building activity. Like I said, we have 19 different committees: admissions committee, placement committee, internship committee, quality and accreditation committee, brand and public relations committee, so on and so forth, alumni committee. So we have the faculty members who are chairing each committee, and certain faculty members are the members. So in the process, the entire faculty base gets engaged in the institution building, and especially alumni becomes a very important source for development of the institution. So we have alumni committee. The one faculty member is the chairperson, and she is always on networking with the alumni, calling them to the campus, arranging the lectures, etc. So this is how the faculty members get engaged. And then the student engagement, we have different clubs like HR club, operations club, marketing club, finance club, so on and so forth, where the all events like panel discussions, workshops, guest speakers in industries are initiatives taken by the students. We have a very peculiar program of ACE Connect, wherein corporate professionals compete with our students on sports, like a cricket, or a basketball, or a volleyball. I'm not talking about, they don't talk academics. The corporate professionals compete with our students in sports. So that also connect takes place. It's a very healthy way of connecting with the corporates. So students are also engaged in the entire institution building, and the faculty members are also engaged in the. So the entire ecosystem gets generated in which the faculty members become passionate to their job, and unless there is a passion for excellence, no amount of accreditation can help. So ultimately it is a passion for excellence, both the faculty, the support staff and the students, which will together lead to the excellence. That is what.
Thank you. IMT sounds like a very like a university that's very alive, and definitely perhaps should be emulated by other institutions.
Actually, we have, IMT has 4 campuses, 3 in India and 1 in Dubai. In India, we have Ghaziabad, which is around 35 years old, then Nagpur in western part of the country, Hyderabad in the southern part of the country, and international campus in Dubai. Hyderabad, we are only 5 years old, and today we are ranked 29th in the top 50 private business schools in the country. IMT Ghaziabad is AACSP accredited institution, and it is rated one of the top 10 private business schools in the country. It's the 10th, I think, in the top 50 private business schools. So I think we are doing a reasonably good job, and we would like to take our institution forward in different areas, connecting the corporate, international relations. These are the focused areas which we are trying to do. International tie-ups, corporate connect, and obviously the kind of teaching learning processes.
And the campus, the international campus in Dubai, how is the reception of that?
IMT Dubai is basically more for the population in Middle East, wherein we have students from Middle East. There are some from India and some from other countries as well. The faculty member consists of from all nationalities, Arabs and even Pakistanis, Indians and even Europeans. So there are there, and there is a lot of diversity. In fact, in India, we have a very peculiar situation. I consider India as a 29 different Indias in one single India. So there is a lot of diversity even in our local campuses. Like in Hyderabad, we have a student presence across the country. People from north, east, south, west, they come together. Even the faculty members are from pan-India. So that kind of diversity we maintain, and so in Dubai. So because they have a bachelor's degree program which is accredited by the government of UAE, and they are doing quite well. Again, another very significant program which I would like to highlight is a dual country program, which we have in IMT Dubai, wherein the students have 1 year they have in Dubai, and the second year they have in Ghaziabad. So they get a degree from both IMT Dubai and IMT Ghaziabad.
Thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing your perspectives with us.
Most welcome, and it was my pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.